Hello everybody and welcome to Storm Reads, and today I am going to do a small review on Alone by Megan E. Freeman. I got this to review from Simon & Schuster, and so I just wanted to, give a little review on it. I started out kind of liking it, but as it progressed, it just wasn't a book for me. There were things in it that I just really wasn't on board with, and it has nothing to do with the writing style, which I thought might kind of hinder it because I'm not used to books in verse and everything. I don't think that it being a book in verse really had any made it any better or worse. It was just what it was. I just read it and thought about it as a book in short sentences, and so I got through it that way. But the writing style, it wasn't that bad. It was just some of the things inside it that I wasn't quite happy about. This is about Maddie, who she's in a blended family. Her parents are divorced and remarried, and so she's got these two families going on, and her parents live in the same community, so she can go back and forth pretty easily. And she's just kind of wanting to have some alone time, and did not realize how alone she was going to end up being, because there was an imminent threat or something, a danger of some sort, and the town is evacuated. But she had lied to her parents and told her dad she was with her mom, and told her mom she was with her dad. And she was going to meet some friends at her grandmother's house, who is kind of a seasonal person. And so she wasn't there at the house, so there would be nobody there. She was going to meet some friends, but her friends bailed on her, and she decided she was just going to go there anyway. She had already bought some pizzas and stuff like that. So she was just going to enjoy the time. And she wakes up the next morning and finds out that her phone had died, so she got none of the texts or anything from her parents or her friends, and everybody is gone. There's been an evacuation during the middle of the night, and she knew nothing about it. So she wakes up and is all alone. There's nobody, and she's not quite sure what to think of it. Is this a real big imminent threat? What's going to happen? The electric and everything is still on, so she's watching the news, and she is pretty worried because she's only 12 years old. So, what is she going to do? How long are they going to be gone? Surely they're going to come back through and find that she's missing. Her parents, hopefully her parents got on the same evacuated van or whatever it was that they went in, and will know that, she's not with the other. But what will happen if they didn't? If they were split up and each one thinks that she is at the other's house, and the emails or the texts that she had gotten are like that, because her dad says, at least stay with your mom, and her text from her mom's like, stay with your dad. So they, don't know that she has been separated from them at this point. And she's thinking, she can kind of wait this out. It won't be too bad. But then several days go by, and eventually the electric is cut off. And so she is cut off pretty much from anything and everything. She starts to get a little bit more worried about maybe she is going to be here for a little bit longer than she thought. So as the time goes by, she has to prepare, because she is in Colorado and winter will be happening soon. It is already starting to get colder, and she needs to prepare for that. And so she goes house to house from different neighbors, where she finds George here. He is a Rottweiler from one of her neighbors that she caught scrounging some cookies, because evidently they were not allowed to take their pets. First strike. So she ends up finding a lot of pets and things that are dying because they are starving and everything. And as the time goes on, the smells and stuff in the houses because of that kind of thing is gross, but she still has to look and scavenge and try to find anything that she can to eat canned foods, anything that is packaged, and all the water that she can find, because without the electric, the water is not running. And so, she's a pretty good scavenger and everything when it comes to that. And as it goes on, it's just on and on that how she has to live and everything, wondering if anybody is ever going to realize that she is missing. And it goes on. The book goes on for several years. So she grows up from like being 12 to I think 15, maybe 16 years old. I mean, it's just, how she has to survive this. There were a few things in it that I just, I'm a big animal person, so the whole not being able to bring your pet with you kind of made me a little aggravated. But there was, of course, with things like that, even though she is on her own, there will be instances of looters, some people coming from other places trying to find things. She's not sure if she should trust this person and try to get rescued or not. And this person, one of the people with him, found a little kitten and kills the kitten. And the way it was done, I just don't really think that should be in middle grade. And I did not like it. I almost threw the book across the room because that really made me mad. And, there's some other things that she has to go through. But for the length of time that she was alone, I would have thought a lot more things would happen. She, has to survive a natural disaster. She has to survive winters and everything, which means gathering wood and all this stuff. But you would think after 4 years, she would pretty much run out of wood unless she would know how to chop it down herself. The length of time that she was there, not ever making a garden or anything. She's very bookish, and she goes to the library to learn things. So I would have thought she would have tried to find out more about how to survive on her own, to make her own foods and stuff like that. I mean, yes, she is young, but I mean, she's bookish. She went to books to find out how to build a fire because she didn't know how. So you would think she would eventually. Now, she did at one time try to build a garden. I will give her that. But it was really long into, like, she had been there for a long time. And I think she had been through a couple of springs and summers before she even tried that. And then, things did happen to it. But she did survive fires and some wild dogs that didn't die, but they become pretty feral. And things like that. I think one of the biggest things, and I don't know, it may be a spoiler, so if you don't want to know, maybe quit here. But I think my biggest issue is you never really find out what happened. There's no imminent, nothing ever happens. Nobody comes. There is no alien invasion. There is no attack from another country. There is nothing. I mean, 4 years she lived by herself and nothing ever happened. And we never really find out. There's one small little poetry section that alludes to something, and even that allusion just made me roll my eyes because that was not an excuse. That was, to me, the author's little political tripe. And I needed a better conclusion to what happened, and I didn't get that. And so it kind of ruined everything. I gave it 2 stars. It's a high 2 stars. I have a new rating system that I'm using that you've probably heard from some others, because I'm using the Call system, which is for character, atmosphere, writing style, plot, logic, and intrigue, logic, and enjoyment. And when I put it through there, like how I was feeling about it, it came up to a really high 2 stars, but but not enough to give it 3. And that's how I feel. I mean, I feel like I enjoyed parts of this book, but not enough to give it 3 stars. It is a 2-star read. I can see middle graders enjoying it for the most part for what it is, a survival story with somebody their age trying to get through things. But at the same point, I mean, if they're smart enough middle graders that they're going to want to know why nothing ever happened. There was no conclusion really to this. She had to survive for so long. I want to know why she had to survive for so long. Why it took, so long to find her or whatever. It didn't make any sense to me. And so, yeah, I was a little disappointed because I really wanted to enjoy this. I really loved the character. Maddie was a good character. I liked her. She did grow from her experience and everything. And I really loved George. He was a great companion for her and everything. But there's just too many issues with it that I just didn't like. And it just kind of brought my enjoyment level down. And I'm kind of bummed. But there you have it. My review of Alone by Megan E. Freeman. Okay, so I'm a little confused at exactly when this book comes out because, it is what it is these days. This says March 16th, but Goodreads says January 12th. And so I'm not sure. So I'm either really early with my review of this or I'm about right on time. Not sure. But anyway, there you go. Review of Alone. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you all next video. Bye.